everyone, I'm Dave McCabe. This is the Dave McCabe channel, and you are watching Now You're Talking with Dave McCabe. Tonight, we're providing views from a librarian. You know, for someone that works in such a quiet environment, Mara McGuire, MLIS, has quite a bit she wants to say. We also have an honest-to-goodness musicologist. What's a musicologist? A. Reed Booker pops in to shed some light on the subject, and we understand he has a song in store for us. First up, though, I cannot believe we found her. Yep, the crack Now You're Talking investigative team not only found her, they convinced her to agree to be interviewed. That's right, folks, we sat down with Georgia M.M. Wilson, the author of the insanely popular Tales of Smoke and Mirrors book series. The streaming version has broken all viewing records. Both the book and the TV series has created rabid fans. We've all been waiting not so patiently for the final book. It's been over 10 years. Now, the wait is actually getting more buzz than the final book. So without further delay, let's get this show started. Georgia M.M. Wilson, now you're talking with Dave McCabe.
David, can you hear me?
I sure can.
My grandson set up the computer for me. He says that we're video chatting. I can see you. Hello, it is me, Georgia M.M. Wilson. I am, as you stated previously, the award-winning author of the Tale of Smoke and Mirrors series. To be a 10-book series, currently 9 published.
Oh man, we have all read those 9. And then that streaming series actually made it into something that nobody can get enough of. This has been fantastic, but we kind of miss you. I know many people have been trying to get a hold of you and get you interviewed, but it's been 10 years. I don't want to dive into that too deeply, but I mean, I don't remember people from 10 years ago. I really can't wait to see these folks getting back into action.
Yes, I hear you. I hear what you're saying, David. I cannot stress enough. I do remember everything about these beloved characters. You name a character, I promise I do remember what they were doing. I haven't forgotten a single one. The book is coming along swimmingly.
I sure hope so, because I keep thinking about it. And I remember I've had breakups 10 years ago. And you know what? Maybe I was in love with that person 10 years ago, but they're probably different people by now. Is the book picking up 10 years later, or are we picking up right after book 9?
Well, I can tell you this much, and I will let you know. I'm telling you some exclusives that have not been revealed to anyone else ever. So this is good stuff. The time that the book starts in, by the time book 10 ends, time will have passed.
Well,
time will pass throughout the course of the book.
Well, that makes perfect sense, because time passed from yesterday.
Time has passed from book 9, whether that time is 9 years or 5 years or 10 minutes. I don't want to reveal too much, but I can tell you time has passed.
So what I'm asking really are all the children, oh my God, the way you wrote those children. They were just so snarky. So are they now going to be, let's say, teenagers?
Yes, everyone wants to know about the children. I will tell you that the children that were alive at the end of book 9, they will be in book 10. All of those children. Those beloved children, I remember each of them dearly. There was Regina, right? That was one. She was a Spitfire, maybe. Yes, yes. You're nodding. Yes, Regina was the Spitfire. I know all of this because I have been writing for the past 10 years. But yes, the children will be there. What age will they be? Well, they will certainly grow older.
Well, certainly, but what I'm really concerned with, as we all know, that in the kingdom, the nannies were really raising those children, and I think it was Esmeralda. It's been 9 years since I read the last book, to be honest. Like, she has to be dead. She was 97 when she was raising those children.
Esmeralda was a fan favorite, and honestly, I will say this, you know, when fans saw in the series on the television that
Mm-hmm.
she didn't make it to the end, they got very angry. And I will not reveal Esmeralda's fate, but I will say that things from the series might not be exactly the same in the book. There's been rumors that the series didn't actually know how the books were going to end, which that's whatever you want to say. But I can say without a doubt, the book series will end.
Sure. I remember, I think it was 7 years ago, everybody was looking for that leap of faith. We thought Smoke and Mirrors is coming back, and those kids were just going to become absolute warriors. And we're waiting. And that was 6, 7 years ago. And I feel a little bit like, you know, maybe Dad went to the Army and we're never going to see him again.
The book will come out. I am writing it. I was writing it 6 years ago, and I'm writing it now. I will tell you this much. It takes place in the fantastical land of Greenberg.
Ooh. I really like that, because I believe it was Greenland that it was kind of based on, but it was just further towards Europe.
Yes. I
believe that's where they filmed it, in Greenland. Something for Greenberg. Yeah.
Yes. Could you confirm for me though? The book does say that it was Green. Did the book say Greenland or Greenberg?
Oh, Greenberg for sure. But on all the behind
good.
From the streaming network, they let us know that all the actors were going to be in Greenland filming it as Greenberg.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm taking notes, I'm just.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Here's a secret for you. We are planning on naming the next land that in book 10 they start with Greenberg, but they will end up in Australiaburg. Now that has nothing to do with the fact that the filmmakers told me that they have to start filming in Australia. That was two completely separate decisions that were made.
Right, and I'm sure that chapter was written well before that decision was made.
Yes, as we've stated before, the book is practically done. It is mostly just in the revision stage. So any decisions that they make now for the show, you know, I've already written most of the book.
Oh, well, of course you have. So really what I'm really anxious about, and by the way, thank you so much for letting me spearhead your book tour as we gear up, because I'm sure they're starting to film in Australiaburg already. So
yes, well, I felt the need to offer it to you. You pre-ordered about 20 copies of the book 10.
You're darn right. And it's not just me. I mean, there's a backlog. I can only imagine the pressure you would be under if you hadn't been writing.
Yes, I mean, the pressure would be immense if I was not writing. It would be a little stressful.
Right.
But I've been writing. Brenda, get me a glass of wine. I am writing, but stop asking questions. I am writing. I've been writing.
Of course you have. So we're all looking forward to the press junket. I know that the book is supposed to be coming out before the movie, and I do know that the movie's filming is taking some artistic licenses, and I understand you guys have smoothed those waters a little bit with the production team.
Yes, the production team has been, you see, they've been hounding me. They keep saying, George, if you've written the book and we're just in the revision phase, you surely know how it's ending. So you surely can tell at least us how it's ending, so we can make a faithful, you know, end to the movie. But you know, I do have an ending, but I don't know if I trust them is the thing. That's why I haven't told them. It's not because I didn't write the ending anymore, and I won't entertain people saying that I haven't written the ending. I saw my grandson told me that there was a theory going around that I hadn't I didn't finish the book yet. I finished the book. As I said, we're heavily into
Sure.
revision phase.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean? It's important for us, the loyal fans, that you take your time. But there was, I think it was 4 years ago, whenever I think you were frustrated and you just said your dog ate your last revision. And,
Yes.
and then everybody took it seriously. And we're so happy that that's not the case. It isn't the case. Your dog is fine, right?
The dog is fine. The revision was lost, but the past 4 years we had spent rebuilding from where we lost. My dog is still quite the rapscallion, but hopefully he will not be eating any more drafts. But who knows? Because deadlines are approaching, and my dog tends to know about the deadlines, and it seems he likes to cause a ruckus around them.
Clearly, in book 9, it was clearly influenced by that rambunctious little dog of yours.
Many suspected that Farkas the dragon was secretly based on my dog Farkas, but actually, weirdly enough, even though they share the same name, they're based on 2 entirely different concepts. I would never put one of the people I know in real life in one of my books. That just seems wrong.
Yeah, I all of that nonfiction absolutely backs up your claim.
Well, I got, if you'll remember, we don't talk about it much, but Brendan Fraser did sue me after book 3 when with the character Brendan Fraser. Because he said that it was just an insert of him, and I'm not without my faults. The Brendan Fraser, the Brendan Fraser character was a bit of a mistake, but I do still hold true that that it was not based on Brendan Fraser, but regardless, we did settle out of court, so I'm not allowed to talk about that too much.
Oh, I understand. I mean, for me, whenever I realized the character was super buff, thin, and in a loincloth, and then in book 8, he became that wacky brother-in-law, not unlike the Scrubs tie-in character.
Yes.
And I thought, what an interesting arc for both characters to have. I thought it was pretty close.
Yes, and ever since then, because all of that was just coincidence. I cannot stress that enough. It was coincidence. But ever since then, I've just been, I have a whole team that makes sure that the creatures and people in my books do not reflect, and as much as I do love my dog Farkas, I don't put it beside him to try and sue me for the betrayal of the dragon Farkas.
Great, that's pretty fantastic. Well, Georgia, you've had a lot of very, very, let's say, impatient fans for all of these years, and there's nothing more we want to gobble up than another episode of Tale of Smoke and Mirrors by the amazing Georgia M.M. Wilson. And I want so much for this premiere. I don't know why you chose to talk to me first, but holy smokes are we...
Oh, what's this? Oh no, Farkas is walking towards the draft.
No.
Brenda, get the draft.
Georgia?
Farkas is going to get...
Georgia, what's happening?
It's happening live. Farkas is walking towards it. It might be another few years on this draft now.
Okay. Georgia, instead of talking to me, Georgia, maybe you should be running after and save that draft that's finished over there.
Brenda, go run after the dog. Brenda's got it.
All right.
So she has saved it from the dog. He only ate. And as we stated, it is a pretty hefty draft that this dog just ate. It was not 2 pages stapled together, stating, no. So, but Brenda has saved it. I'm not going to show it on camera, but the draft has been saved.
Good.
Publication by summer 2024.
Right, and all of us with the S&M fan club, Smoke and Mirrors, of course, are grateful that that Brenda has saved yet another draft, so we don't have to wait another 10 years.
Yes, I would never make you wait. I've made the joke several times. Either this book is going to drop or I will.
Anyways, Georgia, thank you so much for the 9 books in the past. And you know what? The anticipation for number 10. We're all waiting.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, goodbye.
Goodbye, Georgia. Get writing. Okay. Don't forget us.
Thank you.
Please don't forget us.
But Brenda, are the microphones off? Yes, I think he bought it. I think he bought it. I think he believes that I wrote the draft. No, I am on page 4, but it's fine. I know it's been 10 years. I think he bought it. How do I hang up from this?
Georgia.
What?
Hi, hey, shockingly enough, your mic was hot, as they say in the biz.
Oh, I have to go.
Okay, get to a word processor like yesterday, Georgia.
Yeah, thank you so much, David.
Okay, no, seriously, we're getting upset.
I don't know what you're talking about. That was a joke I just played on you. Good, Brenda, how do I hang up? Brenda's going to hang up on you now. And hanging up now.
I don't think she's written a darn thing. That's what I think. And I'll tell you what, I'm not waiting another 10 years for that 10th book. Nope, isn't going to happen. What I'm going to do is reread Jim Butcher's Dresden Files series because they never let me down and he never keeps me waiting. Thank you, Jim Butcher. Next, we have our librarian, Mara McGuire, M-L-I-S. She makes me say that all the time right after her name. You know, we originally wanted to sit down with Mara and really have an engaging back and forth conversation. But she kept shushing me. I guess so. So we found a way to get her point across. She seemed to be happy with it. So let's see how you feel about it. Mara, you're up.
Librarians have had it. What's wrong, you say? I'll tell you what's wrong. Librarians are fed up. And it's all your fault. Whenever you meet someone new, one of the first questions they ask is, what do you do? I honestly do not like telling people I am a librarian. Why? Because people have no idea what librarians do. An alarming number of people think that everyone who works at a library is a volunteer. Honestly. Or they say how it would be nice to read all day. That would be like telling a chef it must be nice to eat all day. People who actually know that librarians are paid professionals often enjoy telling us that we are not needed because we have the internet now. Problems with this statement include 19 million Americans do not have access to home internet. Also, librarians don't just find information. They help you wade through too much information. Googling a few words and reading the first page of hits is not, I repeat, is not research. Libraries are not just books. More and more library content is electronic. You don't get access to this content magically. Contracts have to be negotiated and reviewed. Getting electronic access takes some savvy computer skills. Who's negotiating the contracts? Who's making sure the links work when you click on them? Librarians. It's not just that people don't know what librarians do that is getting us down. It's just people. As any retail worker can tell you, people are awful. There are actual websites where librarians share their horror stories. Disgusting items used as bookmarks, slices of cheese, tortillas, used condoms, nightmares dropped into the book return boxes, wet phone books, cockroach-infested items, food, live kittens. And it doesn't stop there. Someone regularly pooping in the men's urinal, men with stinky feet who insist on taking off their shoes. The person who comes in 10 minutes before closing and refuses to leave at closing time. Please. Linger in the magazine section for 10 more minutes. Everyone trying to go home for the day loves that. Every library has eccentric regulars, and yes, we have names for all of you. The Loud family. Doesn't even try Debbie, whose kids run around like crazy people while she browses the adult fiction section, completely oblivious to all around her. The jelly lady, who complains that the DVDs are broken, when really they're just covered in food smears that we have to clean. Cat lady, the smell, the hair-covered clothing, every library has one or more. Cleopatra, because she is the queen of denial. She never took out 28 DVDs and didn't return them. Someone must have stolen her ID. Her taxes pay my salary. Pinocchio, or the fairy tailor, compulsive liars who must share their stories about how they swam with the giant fish in a CGI movie. They were a key witness in a murder case. Their grandfather invented Jell-O. Coco Chanel, we can smell your perfume from the parking lot. And for the love of all that is holy, don't watch porn at the library. Just don't. Libraries are amazing places, and librarians are information experts. They can help you with anything from scientific research to creating a reading list for your struggling middle school child. So quit being a jerk and be nice. Or there will be consequences.
Thank you, Mara McGuire, MLIS. I'm sure that was quite cathartic getting a lot of that off of your chest. Although I have to admit I'm a little concerned with all these people working from home and then doing school remotely. How many of those awful habits are actually being done now? Maybe even while they're watching my show? Ugh. Next up, musicologist A. Reed Booker. You know, he's an interesting fellow. It makes me actually want to talk to another musicologist just to see if they've got similar personality traits. It was interesting, but you know, it was fun. The good news is, we've got a song. So, pull up your stools, everybody. Here comes A. Reed Booker. Wow, am I excited. Finally, after all of this time, I've got a real-life musicologist here. Today we have A. Reed Booker. So that being said, A. Reed Booker, now you're talking with Dave McCabe.
Thank you, Dave. Pleasure to be here.
By the way, what should I call you? Dr. Booker A?
I said thank you, Dave. It's a pleasure to be here.
I mean, no. How should I address you?
You may address me as A.
All right, A. All right.
I said you can address me as A.
A. So, A, what is a musicologist anyways?
Well, it's difficult to describe in layman's terms, but to put it simply, a musicologist is someone who studies music from a historical perspective, both cultural and societal contexts, and asks general questions from perspectives of relevant and non-musical disciplines.
All right. I pretty much get that. Thanks for breaking it down to layman's terms. But how did you even get into it?
Well, fondly enough, when I was a mere lad, I was with some chums singing Old MacDonald.
Hmm?
And it struck me that E-I-E-I-O might possibly have some deeper significance than would make itself known to my more youthful contemporaries. And so at that point, I committed myself to a lifetime study of literary theory and philosophy, and in the hopes of provoking new ways of conceptualizing and assimilating the experience of music in all its various expressions, without sounding pompous and erudite, of course.
Oh no, seriously. But just E-I-E-I-O? Why did you lock in on that chunk of sounds?
It just sounded so enigmatic to me. There had to be some significance. And so if you'd like to know more about it,
Right.
it's really, really difficult for you to understand, I'm sure. But if you would want to read my monograph, it's called Animal Husbandry and Musical Narrative in the 19th Century, E-I-E-I-O, Götterdämmerung.
Wow. I don't know if I could make it even through the title. But the good news is I understand you've got a song for us today.
Why, yes, I do. This little number here was first composed in 1909,
Mm-hmm.
but Unfortunately, the original manuscript was destroyed in a grease fire during a women's suffrage march in 1917. And so all we have is what's come down to us through oral tradition. I need my guitar.
Yeah, that's a stapler.
A horse.
Is that a horse? Oh, I love horses. Jeez.
Oh.
Hey, are you okay?
Here it is.
Okay, good. Oh, I know what that is. That's a blues maker.
It's a guitar.
Oh.
Oh, you mean this?
Yeah, the little thing on your finger there.
That is a 19 millimeter deep well spark plug socket. Also very utilitarian as a slide. You know, Dylan went electric. I went metric.
19 millimeter. Hey, I finally got what you were saying there.
Thank you.
So is this going to be a little bluesy?
A little blues song and goes a little something like this.
All right, hold on a second. I got to get my blues glasses. I'm ready.
Get down, boy. Got a rat in my kitchen. I don't even know his name. I got a rat in my kitchen. I don't even know his name. He comes, bags a jumbo sandwich and goes back from where he came. Thought that rat was my cousin, but he wasn't. Sometimes he looked just like him. Sometimes he doesn't. Well, got a rat in my kitchen. I don't even know his name. He comes around impersonating my relatives, and then he woohoo goes back from where he came. Well, that levee, it's breaking. Gonna head on down to Houston. Well, Lord have mercy, ain't making them levees like they used to. Got a rat in my kitchen. I don't even know his name. He's a refugee from the flood, and he goes back from where he came.
I just totally got into that. Gotta take my blues listening glasses off. So, boy, there's a lot to unpack there. Let's start with the rat.
Well, I think the rat is an expression of the xenophobic nativism that was predominant in the mid-19th century. I think the obvious hunky reference to Jumbo just really suggests that.
Yeah. And the verbiage sandwich, that has to come from somewhere. I mean, I'm not the musicologist, but
I think Carnegie.
Oh, yeah.
Saasai.
Carnegie, Saasai. Clearly a local flavor for us, totally in this.
It's Upper Appalachian.
Of course. And then the last thing really in the songs is it's your cousin, then it's just impersonating your cousin, and then it just goes back from where it came.
I think too, because all we have, I think, are fragments. Seems to me
Right.
the reference to levees is probably something from perhaps the Gulf Coast. And so
Sure.
these cousins could be distant relatives. They could be various evolutionary species on the trunk of the family human tree.
Clearly. And then it was brought back by the Don McClainsians later, whenever they were not wet this time, but dry.
And there was actually a reference to this song in American Pie.
Mm-hmm.
The song, not the film.
Of course, of course. Hey, slightly off topic. Favorite pie? A?
I said, I don't remember what I said.
Huh. Interesting. I was preparing for apple because your fondness of saying A and being referred to as A.
I said, I don't remember what I said.
Exactly. Thank God we've got tape and I've got a pretty good editor. So we'll figure it out in post-production. Well, A, I am so happy to have you here. Finally, a musicologist. My God, I mean, next time maybe we can decipher my humps from the Black Eyed Peas, because I need to know. Like, it's got to be more than just what the ear candy that it's been.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited.
I can clearly tell that. Well, A, Dr. Reed, just A. Thank you so much for coming aboard, A. We've learned so much about sandwiches, rats, where rats go to, where they go back from, and let's talk about dry levees for a second. Our ears were all wide open, and we got some knowledge dropped on us. Thanks again, A, and we appreciate you talking with Dave McCabe.
You're always welcome, Dave.
I feel welcome. Thanks, A. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and thank all of our guests. Now it's time for the credits juggle. We have a great time putting all this content together and building these shows. If you like what you saw, go ahead and hit that subscribe link down below. And heck, while you're there, you might as well hit the bell so you can get reminders when it's happening. Thanks again for joining us. I hope you subscribe, and I hope to see you next time on Now You're Talking with Dave McCabe.